Here are the top stories on the hour. More than 40 persons dead after flooding in Afghanistan. At least 11 people killed after gym roof crash in China. Lagos confirms mass burial for more than 103 victims. Taliban spokesmen have provided varying figures, but the Taliban-run National Disasters Management Authority confirmed that the dead toll stands at 31, with 41 individuals still reported missing and 74 others injured due to the floods that occurred between July 20th and July 23rd. In addition to the overall toll, the Taliban Governor Office in Maidan Wardak province announced on Sunday that the death toll from the floods in that province alone had reached 30, with 15 others injured. The Taliban-controlled national television reported that in the Akadi area of Pagman district in Kabul, 10 persons were killed, 20 injured, and numerous houses and farmlands were destroyed. A Taliban spokesman for the authority conveyed the grim situation at a press conference on Sunday, highlighting that the flood had affected multiple provinces, including Maidan, Wardak, Kabul, Paksha, Kuna, and Nuristan. Rahimi also shed light on the devastating impact on property and livelihood, stating that 604 residential houses were either completely or partially destroyed. More than 250 livestock perished and hundreds of acres of agricultural land suffered significant crop losses. Moreover, he revealed that over the last 4 months, Afghanistan has faced the brunt of natural disaster, resulting in the loss of 214 lives and injuries to 320 others. The floods have caused severe disruptions of homes and livelihood, leading to a stark toll on the country. The concrete roof of a school gymnasium collapsed in China's Quihua city, killing 11 persons, with 1 person still trapped. Initially, 15 persons were thought to be trapped underneath the rubble, and authorities pulled out 14 individuals out from the debris already. It was reported that there were 19 people at the gymnasium when the accident occurred. 4 persons escaped and 15 were trapped. The region and several parts of China have heavy rain this weekend, causing flooding and damage in some areas. Russia stated on Monday that Ukraine attacked Moscow with 2 drones that were destroyed by Russian air defenses. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin disclosed that 2 non-residential buildings were damaged, but that there were no report of casualties. Russian news agencies stated that fragments from a drone were found in the Komoskovsky area near Russian Defense Ministry. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky used part of his nightly address on Sunday to decry Russia's attack on the city of Odessa, and in particular its historic center, one of UNESCO's World Heritage Sites. Russian airstrikes damaged the historic Transfiguration Cathedral, as the site is also known, early Sunday. Father Miroslav, the assistant rector of the cathedral, stated that there were extensive damage inside. Members of the clergy pulled icons from the rubble inside the cathedral. Mosaics were smashed. A security guard and clergymen were inside when the strike hit, but they survived. The destruction of the historic monument has caused outrage, and Zelensky pledged to restore the historic church. UNESCO issued a statement strongly condemning the attack. European Union Foreign Policy Chief Josep Borrell condemned the strike as a new war crime. Meanwhile, Russian authorities stated that President Vladimir Putin prized the Kerch Strait bridge connecting Russia and the Crimean Peninsula was forced to shut down on Saturday following a Ukrainian drone strike on a nearby ammunition depot. Ukraine stated that this is It's stated that its army have destroyed an oil depot along with Russian military warehouses in Russia-occupied Crimea with the strike. Videos showed a plume of thick black smoke rising from the site of the attack. Sergei Askimov, the Moscow-installed governor of the peninsula, confirmed the drone hit the ammunition depot, which prompted an evacuation order for everyone within the roughly 3-mile radius, along with suspending traffic and rail services on the Kerch Bridge to minimize risk. There were no immediate report of casualties. The drone strike came just 5 days after explosions on the bridge killed 2 people and seriously damaged its roadway structure. Meanwhile, a week-long wildfire on the Greek island of Rhodes tore past defenses on Monday, forcing more evacuations as 3 major fire brigades raged elsewhere in the country, fueled by strong winds and successive heat waves. The latest evacuation were ordered in South Rhodes after 19,000 people, mostly tourists, were moved in buses and boats over the weekend out of the path of the fire that reached several coastal areas from nearby mountains. Help continued to arrive from the European Union and elsewhere, with Turkish firefighting planes joining the effort in Rhodes, where 8 water-dropping planes and 10 helicopters buzzed over flames up to 5 meters tall despite low visibility. The gunman who killed 2 co-workers at a New Zealand construction site was injured during a shootout with police but died from self-inflicted wounds on Monday. The shooting on Thursday closed part of the downtown Auckland hours before the opening game of the Women's World Cup soccer tournament, which was held under increased security. Detective Superintendent Rose McKay stated that the completed autopsies showed how violence ended after 24-year-old Matured had barricaded himself in an elevator shaft during the shootout with police. McKay disclosed that 3 workers injured in the shooting remained hospitalized in stable condition and were recovering well. He stated that the officer wounded in the shootout also remained hospitalized and will have a long road to recovery. 2 others injured people were earlier released from hospital. The Deputy Commander of the United Nations Command, UNC, stated on Monday that conversations have commenced with North Korea over U.S. Army Travis King, who crossed the border between North and South Korea last week in the demilitarized zone separating the 2 nations. King, believed to be the first U.S. soldier to cross into North Korea since 1982, had a history of assault, was facing disciplinary action over his conduct, and was meant to go back to the U.S. the day before the accident. General Andrew Harrison said the case of King is still under investigation and he could not provide further detail on the private, who the U.S. military stated that willfully and without authorization crossed into North Korea while taking a civilian tour of the joint security area, a small collection of buildings inside the demilitarized zone that had separated North and South Korea since the end of the Korean War in 1953. He acknowledged that the answer he could provide were disappointing. More than 100 people who died in Nigeria in 2020 during protests against police brutality will soon be buried, authorities said, prompting allegations by activists on Monday of a cover-up and call for a new investigation. At least 103 bodies were gathered from across the state after the protest and other clashes related to it. The top official at Lagos State Ministry of Health, Dr. Olusegun Ogboye, disclosed that in a statement after local media reported a leaked memo about the planned burial. Ogboye stated that the fatalities occurred during the violence in many parts of the state and not at the protest site at the Lekki toll gate, where soldiers allegedly shot protesters. The new information about the deaths show authorities in the West African nation are still covering up the true casualty toll from the protest and are still protecting security personnel who killed protesters. Amnesty International's Nigerian office said as it demanded a new probe into the killings. The Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, MDCN, has released the result of its recent assessment examination for foreign-trained doctors. A total of 529 doctors failed the exam, which means that they will not be able to practice medicine in Nigeria. The MNCN conducts this exam every year to ensure that foreign-trained doctors have the necessary knowledge and skill to practice medicine in Nigeria. The exam covers a wide range of topics, including basic medical sciences, clinical skills, and ethics. The high number of failures in this year's exam is a cause for concern. It suggests that there may be a problem with the quality of medical education in some foreign countries. It also raised questions about the ability of the MDCN to effectively regulate the practice of medicine in Nigeria. The MDCN has stated that it will review the results of the exam and take steps to improve the quality of education for foreign-trained doctors. However, it is unclear what these steps will be. In the meantime, the high number of failures in this year's exam is a reminder that the quality of medical care in Nigeria may be at risk. Patients who see foreign-trained doctors who have failed the MDCN exam may not be receiving the best possible care. Finally, Season 8 of Big Brother Nigeria kicked off in grand fashion as fans were delighted to see familiar faces in this unforgettable setting. The All-Stars have left their mark in the previous seasons of Biggie's house, and now they have the privilege of living in luxury once again. They'll have a chance to shine, reconnect with old friends, form new bonds, and compete for the grand prize of an astonishing 120 million naira. Big Brother has laid down the rules for the contestants of the All-Star edition of the show. Housemates like Mercy, White Money, Venita, Neo, Ike, Sisi, Cross, Angel, and Alex were welcomed into the house yesterday. And that's it on the world news on VOP TV. We would like you to subscribe and engage us on YouTube. It is Voice of the People Television, and on other social media channels at VOP TV Live. I am Joy Adesua Eramoseli. Thanks for watching.